show here on QCTV. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Winter Kuharski. The Local Show is a spot where we share some extraordinary stories of some local people and organizations that make your community great. Here we'll share stories of hope, generosity, and inspiration to chase dreams. We'll also be joined by a special in-studio guest, so stick around. Bike that you don't want or know what to do with, then you'll want to know about this next organization in Ham Lake. Bikes for Kids refurbishes old donated bikes and gives them away to those who otherwise can't afford one. Leslie Sauer-Smith visited their base of operations.
Bikes for Kids is an organization that was started in 2011, and what we do is we get bikes that we can refurbish, and we refurbish those bikes and then we give them to charitable organizations that in turn give them to children and adults that are in need of a bicycle. And that may be for just exercise and enjoyment for the children, or it may be, in the case of adults or teens, it may be a way for them to get to work. So that's what our goal is, to really help those people out and provide them with a means of transportation and entertainment or a healthy lifestyle.
Well, from 170 in 2011 to over 1,700 in 2015, just about 1,700 2016, you have to be impressed by that. And they made a lot of kids and a lot of young adults pretty darn happy.
There's probably a chance that their friends have bikes, and just to be able to, the mobility piece of it, and to be able to, do the same as their friends do, I think is a big thing for the kids.
It makes me feel pretty good when I can take this card, which is a tracking card, and put my initial on there and say that this is done. And soon it will be given to somebody that can use it.
Oh, I think it means a lot. That's why I repair bikes at, here and there, because even when I was younger, that was a great big thing to have. That was my first car, so, I really enjoyed doing that, and I enjoy doing it now. And being able to help other people be able to get a bike, that is great.
Everybody knows kids, everybody loves kids, or people that need to get around, that want to get around. So it's just, you just feel great being able to contribute to that.
It's being able to know that some kid out there is receiving a bicycle that's going to make his life better and make that whole community better. And I had the opportunity to see that personally one time. And they just couldn't get over the fact that we could give a bike away that would be like that. And the kids weren't going to have a Christmas present because mom couldn't afford one. And two boys received a really nice bike for Christmas.
It is our feeling and the feeling of the entire organization that it is our mission here to reach out and help people in need. And we feel that this is one of the steps that we can take to reach out and touch somebody else to make life different.
This all-volunteer organization is growing even more and looking for more volunteers, and always accepts donations and old bikes. To volunteer or donate, check out their website, bikesforkidsmn.org, because every child should have a bike. Firefighters for Healing is a wonderful, compassionate organization that specializes in assisting burn victims. Their mission is to bring hope, relief, and financial support to the victims and their families. Corey Lang recently spoke with the founder of this organization to learn more. Let's take a look.
Firefighters for Healing begun after a life-changing experience that I experienced back in 2010. So I was a Minneapolis fireman, a second generation at that, for just shy of 15 years. So as a burn patient in the 3rd and 4th degree burns to my hands, 2nd degree around my body and some broken limbs. And at this time, I felt to myself, I had a choice in the matter of my injury. You know, I kind of knew the consequences and the risks that kind of inherently come along with being a fireman. Well, these little guys, they didn't have that choice. They didn't make that choice. So every day they provided me the strength and hope to be able to get through this experience. This time I was very passionate and already at that moment to give back to these children, to help it, kind of pay it forward to those guys. 2015, we officially kind of came together with the official board of directors and stuff and really started thinking, hey, you know what? Let's really push this thing forward and change countless more children's lives. So that's kind of a little bit about Firefighters for Healing, how it started and kind of how it was born and where it's kind of growing since that, from 2015. At Christmas time is another big one of ours. We had 3 fire trucks of toys. There again, them dollars went there to bring these toys down there, and we brought them up there, and it was just awesome. There were so many smiles that day. It really didn't matter what was going on and how much hurt they were going through at the moment. We really uplifted them. So there's another way, and then we have a burn camp we're doing. So the list really goes onward. So I mean, just on and on and on. So if they want to donate, there's a donate right on the homepage. There's a donate now button. They can click on that and really generically just go through the process of that. There's a P.O. box on there they can send in from checks and contributions and donations that way. If they want to contact us to learn more things about how they can help out, maybe not from a monetary standpoint, they can contact us. They can info@firefightersforhealing.com. They can shoot emails to our contributors, dollars and friends. I call them friends, really, essentially, is what they are. We have close connection and relationships, and they're heartfelt things that are going on here when they're helping us with that. And their dollars are going to provide resources and support for burn survivors, for children and families. So essentially what that means is we're picking up where the insurance companies and the caregivers leave off. So I want to say thanks to everybody that's supporting Firefighters for Healing at any capacity from the start to where we're at today. It's all of our friends and supporters in the community, and that's what I'd like to leave off is telling everybody how much we care and how much we are appreciative and grateful for all their love and support.
Thanks to Jake for stopping by the studio and telling his story. And if you'd like to learn more or would like to contribute to their incredible journey, visit their website at firefightersforhealing.org. Thank you to all the firefighters for their service. Mental health disorders are a growing concern and with little knowledge or on cures. One organization decided to lend a paw. K9s From Carrie financially helps people by finding or training a dog to help them with their disorder. Jared Boyer and Kerstin Steinbring had a visit from some Canines and their founders. Let's take a look.
We started K9s From Carrie after my daughter Carey passed away of suicide. She had been sick for a good 4 years, and at a certain point I decided to quit my job and stay home with her, try to keep her out of the hospitals. She had about 21 admissions. So I started staying home with her in the fall, and at Christmas we were given our dog Scout. He's a red lab, and he was just a goofy little puppy that came in with a green bow on his neck that was bigger than him. And it didn't save Carrie's life, but it ended up being one of her best tools and gave her some amazing days.
After Carey passed away, Bonnie and Tom Gallagher knew they needed to make a difference. They started up K9s From Carrie, which specializes in what they like to call furry therapy.
I am Bonnie's Gallagher's sister, Carrie's aunt, and I don't know if you want to say I got roped into it, but I was a part of the process when the first golf tournament started. And, at that point, I have to say we weren't positive that we were going to go beyond that. It was, let's see what we can do, help some people out, and then it was after that golf tournament we raised enough money and felt like we could really do some more things that we decided to do the nonprofit.
The organization puts on multiple fundraisers a year to raise money to support families in need of a furry friend.
So April 8th is our next scheduled event, and it will be it's called the Doggy Dash, and it's in Big Lake, and it'll be a 5K walk or run with or without dogs. And Scott Ramsdell from the lab in Maple Grove is the one sponsoring and putting on the event for us, so we're really excited to have that happen.
Our money goes to purchase whatever dog they wish, obedience training, a gift card to get them started out at the pet store, and a kennel.
If the recipient doesn't really know what they want, we can put them in touch with our trainer, Jesse, and have Jesse work with them on determining a good breed. And it can depend on what their living circumstances are. For example, if it's somebody that's going to live in an apartment or a dorm room, there are certainly dogs that would fit that scenario and other dogs that wouldn't.
Canines from Carrie has done a great job at finding dogs to fit each family's different needs.
So far, so good. Every recipient has been happy with their dog, has stayed with their dog. We haven't had anybody call or write back and say, hey, this just is not working out. Of course, if that ever were to happen, we would be more than happy to work with the recipient, maybe even take the dog back, find a proper home for that dog, and then maybe try to find something that does work for that recipient.
And I am quite positive that everybody in this world has been affected by a goofy dog and somebody with mental illness, so you combine the two and it's pretty amazing.
Hi, I'm Grace, and this is Bandit, and she's going to be a service dog, and she's changed my life.
K9s From Carrie has already helped so many people and will continue to help those who benefit from some furry love. To get more information about their upcoming fundraising event and the Doggy Dash, head to their website, K9sfromcarrie.com. Family Promise in Anoka County is a place where homeless families can go to find the help they need to get themselves back on their feet again. Dave Washburn went to find out more.
Family Promise is an organization that helps families experiencing homelessness move into housing independence. We do that by partnering with local congregations. We have a network of 18 congregations that provide the overnight shelter and meals to families and support them in that for a week at a time. And then we have a day center where families are able to access case management, computers to do work that they need to get done, laundry facilities, showers, storage, things like that, so that they have a place to call home base as well. Family Promise in Anoka County started in 2010. In the fall of 2010, we hosted our first families, and we have been hosting ever since. We're part of a national organization called Family Promise that started about 30 years ago in New Jersey, and we are one of just over 200 affiliates around the country that do similar programs like what we do.
When a family comes into us, we usually work with them to find out exactly where they are and what their needs are, meaning if they're employed, if they're not employed, if they need housing assistance, financial assistance to get into housing, automobile repair. It varies. Every family is different, so we try to shore together as many resources as possible for while they're with us to be able to get them to stabilize and move forward. When a family comes into us, they have up to 90 days to stay with us. We've had families be with us 30 days, but the average stay is about 54 days, and they can be with us up to 90 if needed. It's the best part of my job is watching somebody come in and really take advantage of the services that we offer, as well as engage with all the other community resources that are out there to help them. and just getting them to a place where they're making better decisions and they know that they are able to hopefully maintain housing on their own once they've accessed some.
It's really great for us when we get to see a family that hears that they are getting an apartment, that they're getting into a place, that they're going to have their independence back. The kind of excitement, the joy that they have out of that is just, it's incredible. You know, we have kids that'll come into this program with their families, and the kids have been struggling. They haven't been in a house of their own. Oftentimes they haven't necessarily have a bed of their own, and they have very few things of their own, and then to be able to know that they're moving into housing, that they have a place that they'll be able to go, it's very amazing to see just the smiles, the excitement that they have with that. We do have people that have graduated from our program come back to volunteer. A number of them have in the past. We have some of our weekend volunteers. Our day center is open on the weekend but not staffed. We have volunteers that staff it for us. And a number of those volunteers, some of them that come almost every weekend, some of them that come occasionally, are some of the former guests who have had success after the program. The easiest way to get involved is to contact us through our website or by calling us. We have a lot of different needs that we have. We need more congregations to serve as overnight hosts. That's a critical need that we have. We also need some of those weekend volunteers that help to staff the day center and help the families out while the staff is off on the weekends. Families, some of them need help with transportation, so we need people who are willing to drive. And then also people that have specific skills that may be able to help families out if they have things to do with budgeting, with parenting skills, or perhaps with job seeking, interview skills, things like that. We're always looking for people that can help out our families with those as well. Contact us through our website, and that is a great way to do that.
If you or someone you know could use Family Promises services, or you would like to volunteer, you can contact them at familypromiseanoka.org. Now it's time for our Man on the Street, where we see what you had to say about generosity and how it felt when you gave back.
Well, I give back to my community every day. I work with mental health patients, and I work with community resources to have patients be able to be out in the community and be successful with community living.
And how does giving back to the community make you feel?
It's always a joy when you can see people succeed out in the community.
A while back, me and my family went to a soup kitchen and helped feed the homeless, and yeah.
And how did that giving back to the community make you feel?
Very good about myself, and good to feel like give back to the community, because I know some people need it.
For a few years, I was on the board of directors of Stepping Stone Emergency Housing in Anoka County's homeless shelter. And I found it rewarding helping people in need who didn't have a place to stay. And even though it was only a temporary home for them, nonetheless, it was important what they needed it most.
Today, this guy needed help bringing in his groceries to his house. He's like our neighbor, so we helped him bring in his groceries. And I was like, that's really nice. Because I like helping others. That's always been my thing, is I just want to help people, I guess. I don't know.
And Carly, can you tell me about a time that you were generous and gave back to your community?
There isn't a specific time, but I help her out around my grandma's nursing home from time to time.
And how does that generosity make you feel?
It makes me feel good. I like helping people.
I give back to the high school. Well, it's the Maple Grove high school team, and then because some of the team members helped my kids growing up, during coaching and all that. Yeah.
As you can see, those who have given back feel very rewarded. So we hope you'll share your generosity with others in the community. We'll be right back with our special in-studio guest, so stick around. Welcome back to The Local Show. We're now joined by Community Relations Manager Diana Dawson from Bridging. Bridging is a nonprofit organization where their mission is to effectively reuse donated items. Bridging improves lives by providing quality furniture and household goods to those transitioning out of homelessness and poverty. They have served more than 80,000 families since 1987. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you so much for having us.
So tell me a little bit about Bridging. What is it exactly, and how did it get started?
Well, we like to call it a pretty simple concept.
There are those in the community who have things they no longer need. We say, great, you're done with it. Get it to us so we can pass it on to the families in need. So we are now this year turning 30 years old. We've been around since 1987. Our founder, Fran Heitzman, who's an amazing, energetic gentleman who is now 92 years old, who's in every week keeping an eye on us and keeping us motivated so that what we're doing is serving our mission, which is to provide that basic home setup to families who've been referred to us. So we're one part of the equation, we like to say. First and foremost, find some housing. You can afford, it's safe, it's accessible. Once you've got a place to live, those 150 agencies that we partner with, and there's so many great nonprofits in town who knows families in needs, from County Assistance, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, churches, shelters, vet services, mental health resources. They know someone, they say they've got somewhere to live, now we need to fill it with all the things that make a house a home. So they come to Bridging, they get the referral, they go shopping through our warehouses, and right now we've got 2 locations that we're doing that in. So when they get into that warehouse, they walk through with volunteers and they get a whole basic home setup. And all of those great furniture and household goods are donated to us.
Oh, that's so great. That's fantastic. So you mentioned that there's 2 locations in Minnesota, correct? Where are they located and what happens at each of those spots?
Perfect. So one is we are 2 locations because we're the Twin Cities.
Of course.
And so what's great is we have a Bloomington location. We're about a mile south of 494 down by Mall of America.
Okay.
Great. That's about off of 87th and Nicollet. We also have Roseville. We've been in the Roseville neighborhood, so the northeast part of town here, for 10 years. And we actually just last April, so a year ago, moved into a brand new facility across the street.
Oh, nice.
So between the 2 buildings, we serve out of 57 square feet of a warehouse. So for many, they're like, oh, you're a little thrift store. We're like, no, we're a big giant warehouse. We're moving about 14 semi-loads in and 14 semi-loads out every week. So we need big warehouses.
Of course, yeah.
To do that in.
Definitely, yeah. Wow, that's quite a bit of space you've got there.
It's a lot.
So I know there's a great event, fundraiser for Bridging, and it's called Mattress Racing. What is that, and how much do you guys raise with that event?
Oh, it's a fantastic event. I might still be in recovery. It was just a couple days ago or a week ago now, last Saturday. It's our bed race for Bridging out at Buck Hill. Subway's the great lead sponsor on this. We've been doing it for 19 years, so we are already in plans and prep for next year, the Big 20. Our hope is that next year we cross that $1 million raised over the 20 years. So we provide mattresses. We go out to Buck Hill in the tubing tracks.
And
you get your team of 4.
You take the mattresses down the hill.
You slide down that hill. So it's a great time. You get guaranteed runs down the hill, so you're racing. We'll have over 100 teams every year. And so what happens is you get your team, half of those teams will be in costume. So this year we had this wonderful team of women who were dressed in troll outfits from the movie,
of course,
which was fantastic. We had great teams, of course, that were themed out with bed bugs, because who can't make a great joke about bed bugs? We also had Legends of the Hill, a great group that had Princess Leia, Mary Tyler Moore, George Michael, and
I'm guessing
Prince.
I'm like, Minnesota, you've got to have Prince in there somewhere.
So people have fun and they get creative. So it's as much as just putting on a fun costume and a hat and for St. Patrick's Day, or someone who really takes it all out. Because there's prizes for costumes, races, and who raised the most dollars for Bridging.
And so if people want to get involved with that next year, where do they go for information about
They
that?
come right to the Bridging website, bridging.org.
Okay.
We keep it updated, so I would encourage anyone right now to go look at our page, the event page for the bed race, and start getting ideas. We already heard on Saturday teams leaving going, next year we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to win the race, and how we're going to put on a great costume next year. So Buck Hill's great because, even though we had warm weather this year, the race was still on. It's still winter.
Of course.
They make their own snow, and we just have a blast.
Fantastic. That sounds like so much fun. So you mentioned, you've got plans for next year. So what's in store for the future of Bridging? You said you just moved into that new warehouse. Is there any plans to expand anywhere else?
At this point, that's the focus. We actually moved from 22,000 square feet into 31,000 square feet. But we actually bought the building, and it's 71,000 square feet.
Okay.
We have room to grow.
Of course.
But no, really what we are right now is we just completed and we have begun a 3-year strategic plan, which is really fantastic. The whole goal, as we moved into Roseville and bought the new building then, 9 years later, was that there's great stuff coming in, but there's still more families in need. When we talk about providing a whole basic home setup to the families who come to us, the majority of them, about 80%, are earning less than $15,000 a year when we meet them. So there's no extra cash lying around to buy this great stuff. And so it's the working poor, those who can't afford, they've lost homes, they're getting back on their feet. So the gift we give is, don't worry about, you've got to put a roof over your head. You've got to go to school, go to work, get healthy. This inventory that's primarily donated by the community, about 80% of it comes from homes around us, friends, neighbors, coworkers. We also have hotels, restaurants, retailers. Great news when the Super Bowl comes to town.
Oh, I bet, yeah. You know,
they're all remodeling.
Well, I was thinking with the tailgating couches, who wants to haul that couch back?
That's right.
You bring the couch in for tailgating. You don't want to leave it in the parking lot.
Exactly. And garage sale season is right around the corner. So what we remind folks is once it's out of your house, who wants to move it back in? So our donating of goods and the housewares, all the things we're looking for, good quality items that you'd still use, you'd pass it to your neighbor, not be embarrassed. If you could say, yeah, I'd give it to them. If it's like, I don't know if I would do that, that tells me it's probably not good enough. That let's leave it for the trash, and let's make sure that the gift we give to our families is a dignified piece of furniture. It's not falling apart, it's not torn, it's not full of pet hair. And so it's really about the gift we give and giving someone that opportunity.
Definitely. Awesome. That sounds so, it sounds so great. I love the expansion that you guys have all these plans for the future. It's great to see that. So, can you share a memorable success story about us from Bridging that you were a part of?
You know, one of the best things, the hardest thing for us is to track our clients after they've left us. So what I would say is this, one of the most memorable moments was just this past fall when a client came in to volunteer with her corporate group from Boston Scientific, which was a great community partner. She left saying, hey, I need to let you know, I was a client 20 years ago. That moment as a single young mom was life-changing. And she talked and still spoke of it in such a passionate way about what this furniture meant to her and how it set her on the chart of success to then finish up college, have that child, get a great job, and move on with life. And so it's pretty amazing when someone can have such passion 20 years later after getting some furniture.
Most definitely, most definitely. So I say we're about running out of time here, but I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. It's so great. So if anybody wants to find out some more information about Bridging, you guys have a Facebook. What's your website? How do they get in contact with you?
Fantastic. Best place to go is bridging.org, where you can learn about what to donate, how to volunteer. We use groups and individuals, and of course we'll take money. We're a nonprofit. We also are on all social media outlets. So at Bridging MN, you can go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're all out there, and we are constantly sharing stories and needs of what we need to be successful.
Awesome. Thank you, Diana, so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much.
So, well, as you can tell, Bridging is a great organization, and I think I probably have a couch that I can donate. And so thank you so much, Diana, for coming on. And we love showcasing great organizations like Bridging. If you want to donate or help, make sure you visit their website, Facebook page for more information. Well, that's the end of this edition of The Local Show. We'd like to thank all of the people we featured today for sharing their story with us and for continuing their hard work in their communities. If you know any great organizations or extraordinary people who go above and beyond, contact us. They just might be featured right here on The Local Show. Thank you for joining us today, and please join us next time on The Local Show, where we share more great stories of hope and positivity. Oh, and remember, stay positive and be kind.